Hey, Ralph.
Hello, hello.
All right, we'll get started in
Fine.
just a second. There it is. Are you
Start.
sharing it around, Ralph?
Yeah, I'll get it going.
Okay. Hey, Gene. Hey, Nicole. We'll get started in just a minute. Ralph's sharing it around, and then we'll give everyone some updates. Hey, Brody. See Brad hopped on. How you doing, Brad?
It should be okay. I got everything.
Okay. I'm going to pull up one more thing, and then I'll get started.
Say that I can't find Pennsylvania.
PA. All right. Hey, John Sturdivant. Yeah, we got to get Tom Hill on here. Thanks for tagging him, Gene.
All right, that should be good.
All righty. So, welcome back to our live stream. I know we've been out for a while, pretty much since the hurricane. That kind of took me out for a while, combined with tracking season. Still doing hurricane cleanup, working 12 hours a day, 7 days a week. And but tracking has started slowing down a little bit. So, not there's still tracks coming in, obviously, but they're a little further away. So I've been referring more of those out. Plus, with my limited time with the hurricane cleanup. And Ralph, I know you've been swamped with tracks.
Yeah, it slowed down a little bit here last week and a half, but up to that, it's been busy.
Yeah, it's getting that time. I know in our state, it's kind of, we've shared it before, how it's a wave. That wave starts in South Florida, then as it goes north, that ruts early in your area, and it just makes a wave across over to my area and just keeps on going. Right now it's getting more into that eastern panhandle is in full swing.
Yeah, I talked to 6 trackers Sunday. Nobody got a call Saturday or Sunday around here. So that's pretty dead.
Yeah, I don't know if I got a call or not. Where I've been working I've had 0 service. Actually, I know I did get a couple of calls Saturday, and I referred those out. But it's definitely slowing down right here in my immediate area. But I can go an hour west and get plenty of them.
Yeah.
Yeah. So with that said, I know Ralph, you and I, we've been getting a lot of questions about what's happening with the future of the association, and it we never slowed down. Obviously, we slowed down on the live streams, but with tracking season in full swing, plus the hurricane stuff that really put a damper on me, we had to put that to the back burner. But more tracking season than anything. I know you didn't have time.
No.
Yeah. How many tracks have you been on? Or do you want to disclose that yet?
I don't mind. 215.
Yep.
So they don't, during the season, there's no time to do much of nothing but eat, track, and work. And work kind of takes a back seat. But it dang sure was busy. And we still got another 3-4 weeks left.
Yep.
So I think it'll pick back up. It usually does this weekend or the rest of the year. This at least
around Christmas time, people getting time off.
So yeah, there's a lot of people. Next week they'll be off for 2 weeks.
With that said, we still hadn't slowed down on the association stuff. I mean, we have a lot of events planned. We've been working with several people on events. Yeah. We have it's like February 7th is going to be our Georgia event. And before people chimes in and says anything, we know that part of the Florida Panhandle will be in season still. I know parts of Alabama will be in season still, but you just remember we have events in those states and those areas. So our Georgia event, there will be testing on Friday the 7th, the seminar on the 8th. And of course, we'll probably have testing on the 9th as well. Then after that one, we have the Panhandle event, which will be the seminar portion will be March 1st. And we also will be having I'm sorry, I missed one there. So where's it at? No. I see what's going on. So after the Georgia one on February 7th, we have Louisiana Track Fest hosted by Duval Catahoulas. That will be the weekend of Friday, February 21st, 22nd, and we may be doing some testing that Thursday. I just spoke with Randall the other day about that. He's going to let us know.
2 days
something. What's that?
You say 2 days of testing?
Possibly 3.
Oh Lord, gotcha.
Yeah, he's after the holidays. He's going to get a more firm number for us. With that said, we talked about it a while back and threw out a little hint that we will be unveiling a new test at that event. And John and I has been working on that, and that test is going to be the multiple dog off lead test. So more details will be coming out very soon on that one. And then let's see. Again, February Friday, February 28th, we're going to have testing in the Panhandle. March 1st will be the day of the seminar. We have a live concert there. We will have Kenzie Wheeler performing acoustic country music concert there. So that's big things happening. And we will likely be rolling out another test that will be shared at a later date there. Then Friday, April 11th, Saturday the 12th, we will be back in Iowa. Then we have Alabama again on that first weekend in May, and Pennsylvania the last weekend be the first weekend in June. So Friday, May 30th, testing. June 1st will be the day of the seminar in Pennsylvania. And we have a couple more in the works. I know we got Tennessee in the works, and there's a couple other states that I've been speaking with, putting together some stuff. So we haven't went anywhere. So please don't think that we're just sitting stagnant.
No, we got to remember we track hard too. So.
Oh yeah. The last last year and this year, the hurricanes have put a damper on my tracking. But John and I we're a team. We work dogs together. I'd have to find out from him. I know my last track that we were able to go on, we were at, I believe it was 131, and I know he's been on a bunch since then.
Tell them where to go to the event, to the event page.
Yeah, you go to the American Blood Trackers Association Facebook page and click on events, and it has everything listed there.
Yeah.
And we'll start getting more detailed flyers out. We've got a lot more in-depth things to share at the seminars this year. We went over some of it at the second Pennsylvania event and at Iowa, and then we're going to be adding in some more hands-on stuff in the field workshops. It won't be the same thing every year. And Tina asked where in PA. Let me go back and look. It will be in Windber, Pennsylvania. And Michael Beck has secured that location and assisting with this. And of course, I know I haven't spoke with Vicky because it's been crazy busy here, but I know that Vicky will put her heart and soul into it as well.
Yep.
So, let's see. Gene Ferris says our tracking is picking up this time of year. I know it has, Gene. I've been getting a lot of messages and pictures and phone calls and texts regarding or from some of the trackers in your region. So I've been seeing it's definitely picking up in your area. Joe Tenney says tracking season comes to a crawl when gun starts in Ohio. I was just talking with Michael Beck the other night, and he said that it's slowed down for him in PA. So let's see.
Yeah, I've been looking back. There ain't much. Just everybody saying hello.
I guess I'll go over the locations of each event. The Georgia event, again, it'll be in Stockton, Georgia again. The Louisiana event, That'll be Duval Catahoula's. I can't remember exactly. It's Ethel, Louisiana, but the actual site was right around the corner from there, not far. Florida event will be in Kynard, Florida. Iowa, if it's in the same area, it was in Chariton, Iowa last year. I'm assuming it'll be there this year. Alabama's we will find out, and PA and Winber. And for those of you wondering, Kynard, Florida is in the Panhandle. Gene says, "Don't listen to David." No, I've heard a little bit from David, but there's some other trackers, your buddies up there that I've been in contact with. Yeah, and
I would go over these with you, but for some reason my events is not coming up on the pages. Is it on both the page and the group?
It's on the page.
Yeah.
Go on there, click on more, and scroll down to events. Let's see. Alan Barrett says, Lyle, Judy, and I have had a rash of deer we can't stop. What's your direction to try? When I go back to redrop the dogs, they don't want the track anymore. I'd have to have way more details than that. You know, depend on the sign. What was the initial wait time? You know, what
wait time? He don't know what that is. But I can tell you this, I don't mean to butt in on or Alan to say something. My dog, if by some chance they're not recoverable, my dogs might take it, but they're not going to take it twice.
Right.
Is that what he just said?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's one of my indicators that kind of tells me whether that's the right one. Because if it is something that's putting off a pheromone, mine will take it 2, 3, 4 times if I keep resetting them. If it's not, they're not. I can't reset them and then take them a second time. But that each dog's different. So
hey, Alan says leg and shoulders. You don't wait. Maybe try waiting, Alan. I know I've shared that, and some people don't agree with it, but I'm gonna go ahead and tell you it works.
Oh yeah.
Most of the people that has argued with me on that has not tried it. Ralph, you have anything you wanted to go over or share or questions?
Well, I was going, but I'm still trying to find the darn get all the event stuff. Mine is just not. Well, there it is. There, man.
Operator error.
No, there's no doubt. There we go. Yeah, I hope I get to go on some more of them this year. Had some family issues, medical last year that I couldn't go, but hopefully these are going to be some good times, weather-wise too. Good parts of the year. I can't wait to go to Louisiana. That was one of my favorite places.
Yeah, I know Brandy has already said that we are going to Pennsylvania and Iowa if we don't make any others. So she enjoyed those. So Alan says we ran one 7 miles that was shot in the face. Well, that explains some of your ones you can't stop. I remember the days where I would chase one like that. Not anymore.
Woo.
Yeah, me and Randy took one 8.5 miles. Nah, I'm not doing that anymore. Brad Shoemaker, do both hose need to be from the same deer? Yes. For consistency purposes on our testing, we want the same hose from same deer. All right. Courtney says, my dog this season, I noticed, would circle back to where the deer came into the stand. Learning for him, it's a sign deer is not dead. Anyone's dog do this. Sometimes dogs do that just to try to work it out and line out the direction of travel. If you're not starting back, or they'll try to reset themselves as they lost it. And you'll see that more in a dog. Based on my experience, you'll see it more on a dog younger in their tracking, I guess you'd say, career. Where they would know it's kind of a sign that the deer's not mortally wounded. They lose it and they circle back, reset themselves, and try to line it back out and try to find it again, but it's just not there. And based on my experience, eventually the dogs, they finally figure that out. Okay, I'm wasting my time resetting myself. I know, just like you when you hit a roadblock in life, you don't keep circling back and keep hitting that roadblock again and again. You learn, okay, I know what this means, so we're not going to keep doing that. So as that dog progresses with experience, you'll probably see that slow down. You agree, Ralph?
Oh yeah. Yeah, mine hunt harder. Doing that, that's an indicator to me that things are going south on the track, is when they start circling back and going back. That it's not that really isn't that the dog loses it. It's the track or the pheromones have vanished. So they're going back just to try to find it, not line it out. It's gone. And I hate that, because that means it just ain't going to progress much anymore.
So I see Stacy and Gene's comment, but I want to skip over to Brad's, because it's kind of on the same topic. Brad asked, why is interdigital gland scent weaker on some deer than others? It's not that it's weaker on some deer than others. It's not the deer. It's the health status. Yeah. It's the shot placement. Ambient temperature plays a role. You got a lot going on. Infection plays a role. It's all on the health status of the deer.
And they can lose it during a track.
Right.
I mean, I've had them where it just vanished right just like what she was saying, circling back. It can just go away too. So
well, it's just like people, it's just like people, our health starts to decline. People gives off pheromones too. And part of that is declining health as well. Our health starts declining. We're releasing pheromones. We start feeling better. Guess what? We're not releasing those pheromones anymore. So it's not that one deer releases less than the other. It's all in that the health status of that deer.
Yep.
Okay, we'll go back. Stacy's comment: if everyone could sign up for a test as early as possible, it would make it a lot easier to plan things. Absolutely. In fact, one thing we are going to implement this year is a firm deadline. We have to, because we just get overwhelmed with last minute signups. And I will say, Randall Duvall did a great job of that last year. We did have some last minute add-ons, but we do plan for some of that. But when we have 20 plus tests added on last minute, it creates a little chaos and we get behind. All right, Gene Ferris question. I took a track last Friday. Although the deer went right at 300 yards, it bled well. The gentleman just can't see blood. Would you count that as a track? I can't count it. Well, you went out there, you put your dog on it, your dog trailed to it, so I would consider that a track. I'd consider that a recovery. if you're gonna count all the bad ones, you might as well count all the good ones. I mean, as long as your dog trailed to it and it was recovered. That's my personal opinion on it. Did the dog do its job? Did the dog tailgate the deer?
Yeah, I guess I don't explain this. I'm reading the question, but I don't understand what the question is, I guess.
He was asking if you would count that.
Yeah.
I would count it.
Yeah, if I find the deer, you're doing right.
Okay, Courtney says, even before the hit, I've had the dog circle back to where the deer is walking into the shot range. We are new teams, so that makes sense. Okay, even so, sometimes you get to the hit site and they back trail. It's all part of them putting that picture, all the pieces of the puzzle together. Yeah. You know, I've owned dogs, trained dogs in the past that would circle the whole hit site, you know, for 5-10 minutes, putting it all together and then line out and not miss.
Yeah. Sometimes you just got to sit there and let the dogs go figure. It's almost like they're putting a GPS track in their head just around the hit site to me, just figuring everything out, and then they take it on. It's almost like they got to have that few minutes just to figure it out.
Yep.
Some dogs are worse than others too, way worse than others.
Oh yeah. My old bloodhound buddy, I mean, he would smell every freaking leaf, blade of grass, twig, but when he was done with his 10-minute routine and he hit that trail, he was locked in and you couldn't pry him off of it.
Yeah.
But you had to give him his space to work all that out at the beginning. He was very methodical. Tyler Angle said, Wheezy has really been doing great lately. Can't thank you enough, Kenny. So, Tyler, hopefully you don't mind me sharing this, Tyler, but Tyler early in the season lost a puppy to a snake bite. And that puppy was out of the last litter from his male dog. And my wife and I, we talked about it. We had two pups from that litter that we got from Lyle. And my wife and I sat down and talked about it, and Tyler's been a friend for years through tracking. And we knew that Tyler, you know, it was his last opportunity to get a pup off of Deke. So we just felt led to give him one of the pups, and it was tough because I knew Wheezy was going to be something special. Honestly, she was the best pup out of the three Catahoulas that I started this year. She was the best, but I wanted Tyler to be able to have a dog from that line and be able to continue tracking. So I called him up and gave him Wheezy, and he offered to buy her, but I couldn't do that. I just felt it was the right thing to do. And you can ask Tyler, when he came and picked her up, old John was not happy. John did not want to see that dog go. But Tyler's doing great with her, and I'm glad that he ended up with her. See, Matt Berger said, building the scent profile for the target deer. Absolutely. Yeah, I'm not really with it today. I'm exhausted, but trying to stay focused. So Josh Wilson says, Browning is doing amazing. Thank you for training him so well. So I'll tell y'all a little bit about Browning. Browning is a dachshund, a standard dachshund, and Josh dropped him off, and we had to do some bonding. We brought him into the house with us and spent some time with him. That dog was so frustrating. We would get out there on training lines, and John started him at first, and he's like, "This dog won't do anything." I ran some lines with him, and I told John, I said, "Well, the dog's got it. He's just doing what he wants to do." And so we called Josh and told him what was going on, and he came. Josh drove 2 hours to work with us, and between the three of us, we kind of identified some things to work on, and the training took significantly longer than normal. And even then, the results at the end, I told Josh, I said, he's got it. I wouldn't say he's at the level that we typically want to see. And I said, but at this point, I think you need to take him and work him. And if we need to do more, we will. And I was right. He had it. Y'all can go back and you can go on I believe there's some of them's on the Florida Blood Trailing Network. Josh is not on the list. He tracks for himself and friends, but he shared some stories. And that little dog's something else. Ralph, you got a new puppy this year, didn't you?
Yep. I got one from Brad Shoemaker. Loki. She's doing. I haven't even tried to put her on any tracks yet. What are they? Well, you got the brother to her.
Yes,
what are they?
Moose.
4.5 months, 5 months old?
Yes, something like that.
Yeah, I hadn't even checked, but man, she has been on some dead deer. Just putting her out, getting her used to the deer, getting her used to the other dogs, riding her in the dog boxes. And good night, that's a moose. She just pretty much doing everything except the track. And man, she's just doing awesome. To me, compared to the other two that I had, she was never scared of the deer. Camo and Icky were both terrified. Not terrified. Icky was terrified. Camo was timid going up to their first deer, and I had to work them, and just, it's going to come together at some point. But this new puppy, she never, it was latch on the first time and hadn't stopped. She loves it. So I can't wait to get her going. Can't wait to get on a few puppy tracks here where we know something's gut shot, and to where it's an easy track that you don't have to go 700 yards. And I think she's already going to be doing awesome.
Yeah, I haven't started with Moose yet, which honestly, he's ready for training. I just still doing this hurricane cleanup. It's going to be a little bit, but I know he's going to do good. And let's see. Joe Tinney said he's getting a Ladner Blackmouth cur coming home into February-ish. Stacy Frost said that they are getting a Ladner cur then also, and I believe I am getting another one.
Well, by God, put my name in the hat.
Your name's in the hat. So I've actually got several dogs I got to get going this off season. We have a dogo from ZBZ Dogos, Alex Hood, that I have not started on her yet. Like I said, I'm way behind on all of my stuff. still working on this cleanup, but we have Eva, which is our dogo. One of our Catahoulas, Rosie, I'm just going to be honest, she didn't perform to par for me this season. So we're going to be working with her this off season. But again, the way my schedule's been with the storms, I'm just going to admit it. I took the dog that made it easy because of being tired and time constraints. And then I have several of our tackles that we're going to be working hard with this off season. So we're going to have a busy off season. So Marlon, I have a 4-month-old GSP I'm wanting to train. What's a good age to start? Message me because I want to ask a few questions before I answer that. Some of the things that I'll ask is, what is the sex of the dog? I'd like to know the disposition of the dog. But on average, 6 months old is a good age. I typically, this is me personally, I recommend that people work on that obedience up until that 6-month age and let that dog mature a little where they can really focus and then work from there. But if you'll message me either on my personal page, Facebook, or the Mullins Dog Training, either one I will respond to, or you can call me and I'll even send you a little guide. But like I said, I'd like to ask some more details before giving a solid recommendation. Some people say start at 8 weeks. Some people say start at 4 months, but I am a firm believer in waiting till that dog is ready, and I'll help you with that.
I can back up the obedience part first. People get anxious wanting to get their dog going. It's as important to get the obedience down pat as it is to get them on scent trailing. To me, that is almost more crucial. They're going to get it. If they're going to do it, they're going to do it. It ain't going to matter a month or two, but the obedience part makes it a whole lot more enjoyable and all the way around. So even for you, it'll make it a lot better when you get the dog, if it's already got a good foundation, for the obedience end of things.
Yeah. And I'm just gonna put it out there. I don't care if my dogs are super obedient, not to the level like my duck dogs.
No.
My tracking dogs, really all I care about is that they come to me when I call them.
Yeah.
If they'll sit when I tell them to sit. But I like my I'll say it like Lyle. I like my tracking dogs a little wild. I want them ready to go, but I also want them to come to me when I tell them to come.
Yeah.
So Mike Barron says he will have another Wright's bloodline cur, 3 weeks old now. Mike Maynard, I got some I'm wanting to touch up this offseason as well. I'll be getting with you, Kenny. Sounds good. And another one says, I agree. Wait to really hunt a dog. You can imprint all you want at a certain age. Each dog clicks. Yeah, I mean, like I said, and people ask me all the time when they send us dogs to train, what do I need to do with the dog before it comes? Honestly, I don't care if you do any tracking. In fact, most times I prefer them not to do anything.
Yeah.
That way I don't have to break bad habits.
All right. There's Loki.
Definitely a little smaller than Moose.
Let's go find it. She's asking.
Yeah, she's definitely smaller than him. I think she's probably about the age or the size Moose was when we got it.
Yeah, so there was a couple in the Panhandle of Florida that also got another pup out of the same litter. Well, they ended up picking up the dogs for Ralph and I because it was just after the hurricane hit, if I remember right, wasn't it, Ralph? Yes, yeah, just
Yes.
after the hurricane. So they picked up the dogs for us, and when we got there, they said that they had already named Moose, and she told us that before we even saw the pups, and we go inside and we see the pups, and I understood real quick why she named him Moose, and we just kept the name. So Don Clark says, "Hey Kenny and Ralph, good to see you guys. My dog Crosley is a Schmavis dog. She's going on 3 years old. She has 10 tracks with recovered deer under her belt. I only track for friends and family. She is a natural. Thanks for all the ongoing info you guys present." Ralph and I have a couple Schmavis dogs as well. My knucklehead, he's had some good tracks and he's had some bad tracks this year, performance wise. But I believe a lot of that is just maturity, and that's why I said I haven't pushed him a lot because I let a dog let me know when they're ready.
Yeah, mine here is turned on the last couple of tracks. Just more putting it out and watching it track. He's taking a little more interest in it. So I'm just impatient.
You know, I was a very, very impatient person. I'd get rid of dogs quick, and Sam kind of broke me of that. You know, Sam, I kick myself every day getting rid of him, but you know, I've said it before. I hated that dog for the first year and a half of his life. I didn't think he was worth anything. Maybe just a house dog. And at about 2 years old, that switch flipped, and he was a machine. So I've learned to be a little more patient. But some of my patience wearing thin. Hey, Chris, how are you doing?
When you going to get the cur dog?
I got to find out. Well, I got to find out when I'll be getting mine. So Randy Duvall chimed in and said, "Hey guys, welcome back to the big screen. Thanks for all you do. Appreciate that, Randy. We went over your event earlier, shared some details. So if you guys missed that portion, you can go on American Blood Trackers Facebook page and go to the events section, and you will find it there. And like I said, we will be rolling out the new multi-dog off-lead test at his event.
Mm-hmm. What hang on a minute.
Yes, Perry Connor's still on. If you'll go look on our Facebook page, it's all on there. And Kenzie Wheeler will be performing. We have him booked to do a concert there.
I can't mention we mentioned it a while ago as far as getting people signed up. if y'all know you're coming, please let us know that you're going to be testing, because it gets hectic and it's hard to plan for things. We've got to make sure we've got enough judges, to come, and late notice when everybody, you might think, oh, I'll just do it, before. No, we need to know a week or two ahead of time, because we've got to get judges. That's the main thing. We've got to know how many, so we know how many people we need to go, because last year sometimes we had more judges than we needed, and other times we didn't have enough judges, but it was our first year running tests and stuff. So it's a whole lot easier if we know ahead of time what's going on. So if y'all can, please don't procrastinate on that. Let us know, and it'll sure help with the event and scheduling stuff.
Yeah, because I'm gonna be honest, I don't know that I'll be able to make every event this year like I did last year, and I know some others are the same way. I'm gonna try to make all of them, but it looks like I'm going to be fishing the Power Pole Redfish Tour this year, so I know one of the events is going to conflict with that. So we'll have to see what happens there. But it's going to be hard to be fishing in Louisiana and at a seminar in another state at the same time.
Well, it sounds like you overbooked yourself, sir.
Yeah. So if any of y'all have a private jet, I might could make it happen. So Courtney says, with this being our first full season, she can see where her dog's really turning on and understanding his assignment. It's amazing how they can read a room. Mine does sports also, so to watch him know what is needed at any time has been so cool to watch. And that's what it's about. I've always said, I love helping people and meeting new people and all that. But, if I'm honest with myself, at the end of the day, it's about that dog. Do I enjoy helping people? Yes. Do I enjoy meeting new people? Yes. But really, it's all about working that dog. Those are just byproducts of working the dog.
Yep. Without that, I wouldn't enjoy tracking.
No, I mean, who wants to go out there and, for us, wade through waist deep swamps in the freezing cold or the blistering heat with mosquitoes and gators and snakes and call that fun, or be like Jason Byer and, try to grab a deer and hit your head against a tree and end up in the hospital. I don't know if you guys have seen that, but
it sounds like he needs to stick with being a receiver and not a linebacker.
Yeah. Perry Lawrence said he's going to do 2 tests with Jet and 1 with Zoe.
He did good on his test last year.
Yeah. Yeah, and I'll make sure I have about 30 dogs ready for Stacy. With that said, we added a lot of new judges last year. If you are interested in becoming a judge or helping out any of these events, you can go on our website. There's a spot for application to become a judge. If you want to volunteer to help out an event, let us know. We always take the help. And if you want to tag along and see what we do, how we do it, you're welcome.
I guarantee you there's a whole lot more to this than people think if you've never experienced it.
Oh yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, but it is. It's good off-season fun.
Randall Duvall, have y'all found more hunters trying to make impossible or extremely difficult shots this year more than normal? I have not experienced that this year.
Nope.
I feel like, honestly, it's been the opposite. And I don't know if it's because the amount of exposure over the years in our area of us really educating, and I'm just going to say educating. I'm not going to use the other word I was going to say, but I'll just say educating the hunting community. All right, Mike, since you missed the beginning, you're going to have to go back and watch it. If you go to our Facebook page, go on under the events tab, you will see. But we have events in Georgia right now: Georgia, Florida, Alabama, Louisiana, Pennsylvania, Iowa. There's a couple other states I'm not going to throw out there that I've been talking to that we have some things in the works.
And the one
And
in
I will
Georgia
say,
is just west of Homerville, and then the one in Florida will be out in the Panhandle.
and for those of you that doesn't know where Homerville is, it is east of Valdosta.
Yeah.
That'd probably be the easiest one for most people. And that's a beautiful property, great event site, really good testing grounds. Chris is replying to Duvall, says, I had 2 clients telling me that they have no idea where they hit the deer and found both. I had one guy I tracked for that told me he swears he missed but wanted closure, no blood for 100 yards from blood and 100 more yards found the deer dead. We have that all the time, but as far as just wild, stupid, unethical shots, that's slowed way down for me the last few years.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And Perry said a lot of hunter track blood 500 to 600 yards an hour after shots. And man, I'm getting so bad about not wanting to go on those 500 to 600 yard or where the hunter went 500-600 yards. I hate those. First, it's probably not going to be good, and they've pushed it. So we go, but I don't like it anymore.
Yeah, I've gotten a little more blunt with people over the last few years. I just flat out tell them, if you're not going to back out, if you're going to call me and you're going to keep looking, I'm not talking about the ones that look 500 or 600 before calling because they've never used me before. But I will say this: the ones that call me and I commit to it, and I tell them, hey, I'm loading up, I'm coming that way, or I'll be there at such and such time, and then I find out they're still tracking, I'll turn around and go home.
Yeah.
I'm not wasting my time anymore. And I'm not going to track for you anymore.
That's right. I had one last year. I was stacked up, had 5 or 6 that day, got to the guy, called him, and while I was talking, it was right before dark, and when I was calling, I heard him sloshing in the water, and I'm like, are you in the woods? Are you back in the woods looking? He goes, yeah, I was getting tired of waiting. I said, well, you're going to wait a little longer. I said, because somebody else might come, but I'm not. I just got off the phone and went to the next one. It was ridiculous. I'd already told him not to go, because I'd pulled him out the first time. And I'm getting to where that track doesn't matter anymore because we're getting so many that when they're being that way, I don't have much tolerance for that anymore.
Yeah, now to Joey McDonald's comment, he said, I tell the hunters to give an honest effort without grid searching. I do the same to a degree. Most of the time when people call me, they've already exhausted all that, and then if I go tell them give it an honest effort, that leads to grid searching. So anymore, I'm done. If you call me, I'll come to you. If you don't want to wait, call someone else.
Yeah. Yep. That's probably some of the hunters just, I don't know whether they don't agree or they don't believe you that wait times matter. But some of them just keep on, can't stand it. So, well.
And don't get me wrong, I want people to find their own deer. I think that people should look for their own deer to an extent. But if you're going to call me and I commit, have enough respect to wait.
Yep.
Or anyone else. If you call the tracker and they commit and they're willing to come help, have enough respect for them to stay out.
There's one here. Where is a good place to order the hoof scent shoes? Darren Miner.
Again, if you'll message me, you can look him up, Darren Miner. But if you message me when we talk about the dog, I will send you his contact info. And I'm going to be honest, I will probably forget if you don't message me or call me.
Yeah.
Joe Tenney says Ohio's new thing is call a tracker, get all the info on the shot, get wait time, then call a drone, find it alive as expected, then call back and ask advice on the shot, then try and lowball because they spent money on a drone. All right, let's talk about drone for a minute. I bought a drone this year. I bought a very good drone. I bought the DJI Matrice 30T. Let me tell you what I learned. There's not a deer out there that I can find with the drone that I can't find with the dogs, other than crossing property lines. But even if you cross the property line with a drone, you still have to get permission to go on that property. No different than with a dog. But in my situation, in my area, my terrain, I would say that a drone has a very big disadvantage over the dogs. Now, some parts of South Georgia, went up there, did some herd surveys and stuff. I could see a little more, but it's a dog is always going to be the better option, with the exception of property lines.
Yeah,
and I think these drone people, they're marketing so hard. They're marketing harder than we are, and they're in their marketing. A lot of them are just bashing dogs or sharing untruthful information. So maybe we need to start not bashing drones, but put the truth out there. And that's what I'm doing. I have both. And I'm going to tell you, I have not found a deer with a drone that I could not find with a dog, but I have found plenty of deer with dogs that I would never find with a drone.
I've only been on 2 with a drone, and both were alive, and we found them after the drone couldn't find them. So it definitely, to me, well, that's just 2. So yeah, I don't have a big, range of experience, but I just, like you said, I can find everyone they can find, I think.
Yeah. And I'm going to be honest, do I think they have a place? I would say yes, but in my particular region, I don't feel that a drone is the best option. Now, in some of the farm country or more open terrain, and where there's more, where the vegetation thins out more, and we don't have these higher temperatures, especially early season, I'm still gonna, I would say that a drone may have a advantage there. One thing I do want to say is there's a misrepresentation about disturbing the woods. Well, you're still going to disturb the woods if you locate that deer with a drone. You still got to walk in there and get that deer. And one thing that some of the drone people are portraying is the dog's just out there going all over the place, laying a bunch of scent. I don't know about y'all's tracking dogs, but my dogs stay true to the line, and we're not just wandering off all through the woods.
Nah.
And, I mean, I can't tell you how many live deer we walk by and the dog's not even paying attention.
No, exactly.
Now, I do still have my drone, but for one, I can't bring myself to charge $500-$600 to go look for someone's deer. And then here's the flip side. I've heard, and I'm friends with some local drone operators also, because it is a small network and they know I have a drone license. I have a drone, and, some of them are clients of mine through the fishing or, guided hunts and stuff. So, we built a relationship, and I'm not bashing them. They provide a good service, but there's some of them out there that it's all about the money. And then they show up, they charge $500-$600 to run through a set of batteries. Well, you really don't even know what you're getting. Do they know what they're doing? Are they putting forth all effort? Or are they out there just flying around and hoping to get lucky and take your money? Jason says, correct. I've seen plenty of deer in their beds at night while the dogs just pass them by. The deer just stay there and watch and make sure we don't get too close. Same thing, coon hunting. I mean, all that. I mean, the dog's trained. It does its job. Now, I'm not going to say a young dog. I haven't had them get off on a wrong trail, but, we correct that. Well, you have anything else to share, Ralph?
No. Not at this time. I don't. Are we gonna, just so everybody will know, are we gonna try to get back to our weekly schedule?
Yes. I'm up for it if you are.
Oh yeah.
Let's look at the calendar though. So next week is Christmas Eve, and the week after that is New Year's Eve. So what do you think about swapping it to Monday for those 2 days or those times?
That's fine with me. I'm good with that.
Or we can do it. Yeah, let's do it.
That'd probably be the easiest.
Yeah, the 23rd and the 30th.
Yeah. Cool. That will work.
Okay, Joe Tenney says a drone in the hands of a tracker with a dog is much better than a guy who is just a pilot. I think like a tracker and have a higher success rate than others. Found a few behind drones this season. Tommy Berthlot says YouTube is full of videos of coon hunters treeing a coon with deer standing there watching the dogs and hunters. Absolutely. Jason Altman, Ralph, Travis and I tracked my son's first buck this season, and deer were back in there an hour after we left.
Yep.
So a couple of years ago, I was tracking a buck, and I called James Long in to back me up. And I knew even when I called him in, it was likely a long shot. But I wanted to put forth the extra effort for this individual. So I had 3 dogs out there. Hang on. I had 3 dogs out there trailing for, it was a couple hours, 2 or 3 hours. I called James, and he brought 3 or 4 more dogs. So we had 7 dogs on this property all day long. We in the food plot. This deer, it just kept circling and circling and circling. We just stuck with it. I mean, it's not something I typically do, but for this individual, we're really putting forth everything we could due to some reasons. Anyways, we leave there. Now, it was me, James. We had one other person, the hunter, his son. So there was, 7 dogs, 5 or 6 people out there all day long. Less than 30 minutes after we left, he sent me a picture of 7 deer standing at the feeder in the food plot where we'd been in.
Shoot, we have the same deer. I've had the same deer circle back while we're tracking him, circle back and feed out of the stand he was shot in.
Oh, yeah.
Or out of the feeder that he was shot at.
Yep.
I was just called a track. It wasn't a fatal hit, but it just doesn't. I don't know. I don't, especially down here. These deer know what people are.
Oh, yeah.
It ain't like you up in Saskatchewan where a deer's never seen a human in its whole life.
Yeah, Jason Bell called me on one 3 years ago, I believe it was, in Fargo, Georgia, wanted me to back him up. But I told Brandy, actually, James and Kim Long was at our camp whenever I got the call. And I told all of them, I said, I'm going up there just to back up Jason, but I know this is a waste of time. I said, but, Jason just, kind of the same thing. He wanted to go put forth a little extra effort. So we get there and, turn the dogs out, jump the deer. We ran it. I think it was about 750, 800 yards, and I called it. And we're walking back, and we get almost to the truck, and the hunter's phone goes off. And right then we were, I think, about 80 yards from the feeder at the road, and that buck that we had just ran, that 750, 800 yards, whatever it was, 7 to 800 yards, was already back at the feeder. It literally beat us back there. Of course, we took the long way around to walk down the roads, but all right, well, I've got to be up really early, so if y'all have any last-minute questions, put them in there now, and we'll try to answer them. And hey, there's Vicky. She's in Colorado. Yeah, Vicky, I'm gonna try to call you tomorrow. I've still been doing this storm cleanup, and I know there's been some people that's tried to reach out to me, and there's been some trackers that's tried to reach out to me, and I've had 0 service at the cleanup site we're at now. We're probably going to be there. I don't know how long. They're saying anywhere from a month to 6 months left. I guess whenever we run out of funding. But when I'm not on the boat, I do have Starlink now in my truck, so I can at least respond to people. So if you call me, leave a voicemail or text me, and I will do everything I can to get back to you at a reasonable time.
And if it has anything to do with the events or American Blood Tracking too, y'all can call me if you can't get hold of Kenny. So I've had some, say they can't get hold of you, but they don't do nothing. Well, you can call me too. I can help out with any of those questions and situations with the events. So, and me and Kenny usually talk in the evenings pretty much every day, if not every other day. So if you'll let us know, we'll get back with you.
Yeah, and I had one person that got upset because I guess I didn't get back to him, but I had no way of knowing that they even tried to contact me. And even at my house, since the hurricane, I don't have good cell service at my house anymore. I don't know what the deal is. I'm sure. I mean, so much was devastated. It's unimaginable. Even if you've seen some of the videos and pictures I've shared, it's unreal. So just please be patient. If it involves testing, you can get with Stacy Frost. All the contact information is on the website. You can email her. Like you said, Ralph. I mean, we'll get. You can even message the Facebook page or email us, whatever.
Yeah.
Let's see. Michael says education after the track to clients is so important. I can't say how many tracks I've taken where that information is spread and led to successful tracks for friend or family of the original clients. Absolutely. Hey, Coda Stewart. Let's see. James Piney says, I'm sure y'all got plenty, but have a bag of hosts for after season. I'll find a way to get them to you. Tommy Berthelot has a bunch for us as well. I got to get someone to him to get those. John and I got to get with John. We're trying to work everything out, but we're spread so thin with everything going on, and a lot of people wanting dogs trained. So we're spread thin. I shouldn't say thin. We only take in so many dogs, but I can't. Normally, I'm here to help John with that, and right now, this storm cleanup has got me a little too busy to get away and run to Alabama right now.
I had made a post a little while back about needing some hooves and hides, for the events, but with Cassidy going to some events, we have a ton. So we're probably to a point to where we don't really need any more unless you need them for the event part of it. Cause I'm to a point, I might need another freezer. So we've been cutting them up and getting them ready for the events, but it's still a ton. So
I can still use some more for sure. Especially not so much the blood, but the hooves and hides. Like I said, Tommy's got a bunch that I'll try to get John to get to him. He said our tracking will crank up, Midge. Actually, I just found out today that we will be off for, I believe it's 9 days between Christmas and New Year's, Tommy. So I'm going to have to get to Alabama some point during that time. So I'll try to link up with you then. See, Michael says Stay tuned for a new podcast, Tracking Tales. We will be having trackers from all over the country talking tracking and sharing stories. And we are doing the same through the American Blood Trackers. This live stream will be on our podcast channels within the next couple of days. Tommy says, come make a dog hunt when you come. I'd be down for that. All right. Well, I hate to cut it short, but
Yep, I got to get to.
yeah, 4:30 in the morning comes early.
We'll see y'all next week.
All righty.